buddies, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing another Love After Lockup review. This is season 5 episode 50, which it's really like, anyway, the way they season the seasons is weird, but it's season 5 episode 50. If you want to watch along, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Remember late nights cruising and wasn't nothing to it. Flicking up the shit, we about to make a move.
Okay, so the episode opens up back at Rob and Teeny. Remember on the last episode, Rob is outside with his mom and his brother Keyshawn, and his mom is like banging her fist on the table. She's yelling because Rob is wrong. Remember, the whole discrepancy was, did Teeny put her hands on Rob's mom first, or did Rob's mom put her hands on Teeny's first? And as y'all can see, Teeny really did put her hands on Rob's mama first. So anyway, Teeny sees all this on the cameras. So she's like, I'm finna take my lunch break. So she gets up from watching the cameras at her desk and is leaving. And Rob's mom ends up going upstairs back at the house to like calm down. She's crying. She's like, I just feel betrayed by him. And then his brother Keyshawn like goes up there to calm her down and brings her back downstairs. And, you know, they talk it out. Rob starts crying. He's like, I'm just doing the best I can. You know, I'm trying to be successful on the outside. Rob seems like a really good guy, and he's just trying to acclimate to being in the free world and spreading his time between Teeny, the family he's created with her by taking on her 2 kids, still spending time with his mom. So they talk, they both cry, they, you know, hold hands and talk it out. The kids is upstairs like, mom is not gonna like this. They know they mama, right? And so then while they're having this beautiful moment, Teeny is on her way to the house fuming. Like, I did not want her at my house. Like, of all the people I don't want at my house, his mom is one of them. And like, they really need to fix that, you know? So the producers are the producers are asking Rob's mom, can you see yourself making amends with Teeny? And the mama takes a long pause and she's like, I don't know, because I still kind of feel a type of way. And Teeny made the point, like, his mom wants his time now and wants to spend time with him, but he was locked up for 16 years and they didn't come visit him. So it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like, you can't pick and choose. Like, if you want his time, you want his time. I feel like Rob's mom wants someone to take care of her. She even hinted at that. Like, that's why I had all these boys, so that they could take care of me when I get older. Which, to a degree, I kind of feel we should take care of our parents when they get older. But, like, no one should depend on you that is able to make their own money. You know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah, Rob's mom is like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to make up with her because I still feel a type of way. So I definitely think Teeny should apologize to Rob's mom, but let's get on to the next scene. Okay, so the next scene, we're on Bianca and Daniel. Y'all know Bianca can work a nerve, baby. So the scene opens up and Bianca's like, babe, I was thinking we could like go on a date or something. And Daniel's like, okay, sure. So they get dressed, they get in the car, they go on the date. Bianca's like, she's driving, of course, because she's the boyfriend. And she's driving and she's like, I'm really excited to spend some time with you. And Daniel's like, we're always together. And she's like, you're killing my vibe. So then they pull up to this like park, somewhere really scenic, and they're just sitting there and they're chatting. And Daniel's like, you know, I feel like I jumped the gun by proposing to you in jail. If y'all don't know, Daniel proposed to her while he was in jail because like he was going to lockdown or something, didn't want her to leave him. So he was under pressure and proposed to her, I guess, over the phone. And so now that he's out, she's been on him like, where's my ring? When are we getting engaged? Da 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 da. And he's just been stalling, which I get it because Bianca is irky and aggy as hell. So but he's also like homeless without her. He would have to go move in with like his parents probably. So he's telling her, you know, I just don't think I'm ready right now. My life is a mess. We don't have stable income. Like, he doesn't want to just live off of her savings from her accident settlement. And he's like, it just wouldn't be fair to drag you into that. And I felt her on this part, because she's like, what do you mean? I'm already in it. Like, we live together. What are you talking about? And she's like, can't you just give me a ring or something? Like, I think at this point, she just wants something to symbolize the commitment, because she's done so much and really gotten so little. You can feel their lack of chemistry through the screen. So he pulls out this little promise ring out of his pocket, and Bianca got this goofy smirk on her face. It's giving homosexual. It's giving like he knows he's got to keep Bianca on the line, because if not, he's not going to have a car or a ride whenever he needs one. He's not going to have a built-in live-in girl. He's not going to have live-in coochie box. So it's just, I don't know, it seems disingenuous to me. And he's like, I never give up. So then that's when he pulls the little ring out of his pocket. Okay, so the next scene is Troy and Zaria, big funny face looking self. So they're still in the park. Remember on the last episode, his baby mama Yana was supposed to bring baby Troy's daughter, so he could see her. But prior to that, during community day, remember, he didn't go pick up Karen, his crazy mama, or baby Troy. And so his baby mama is still upset about that. And so she basically tells him, if you don't come to Buffalo where I am, you can't see your daughter. Like, the daughter's not in the car. And so Troy is irritated, understandably so, because he's like, well, what was the point of all this? Why did you even come here if you don't have my daughter? Like, you could have told me this over the phone. And so Zaria is trying to calm him down, and she actually says some good things, like, you just have to man up. This is the woman you chose to have a baby with. But she does say that, it's giving jealousy. Like, Yana is jealous of maybe their relationship or something they've got going on. Something, very much something. But then when they cut to the confessionals, Troy's telling Zaria, like, I'm gonna be with her forever, like, we're locked in for life, so Yana will just have to figure it out. And Zaria gonna say, yep, as long as you don't look at another woman, breathe around another woman. Like, girl, he was having a sweet moment. Her and Bianca get on my nerves with that. And what's the other one with the nose? Louie girl, I can't think of her name right now, but they always just know how to kill the vibe.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
That was really that scene. It was short. So the next scene is Melissa with the nose and Louie. So remember, Louie is upset with Melissa because she went and did some investigating on the ring after her sister and her hating ass homegirl boosted her head up to go do that. So they cut to the scene, and Melissa, she talks slow too, not like Bianca, but she was like, I just, wanted to get the ring insured, and when I went in there about insurance, that's when they told me. And Louis just like, either way, I feel like your sister and your homegirl bucked you up to do that. You wouldn't have went and like started doing all that digging if they weren't trying to convince you that the ring was fake. Then once you realize the ring is fake, you're still questioning me. Like, the man at the jeweler told you it's probably a simple mistake. Like, it's not anything he would have done. Louis got paperwork, everything for the diamonds and the ring. And he's just irritated, he's like, I'm not a bad guy anymore. And he was like, I feel like to the outside world, they're always going to consider me a felon when I go get another job or try to apply for certain things. And he was like, but I'm at home with you and you're still looking at me like a felon too. And he was like, maybe it's because, you girls all want a bad boy, always trying to fix some shit. And so they go to the confessionals and she apologizes and he's like, do you trust me now? And she's like, I'm starting to trust you. Melissa get on my nerves too. Melissa, Bianca, Zaria, just throw them all away. So next up is Justine and Michael. Remember, Justine is pregnant. She's 38 weeks pregnant with her second child within the last 2 years. So like her uterus, all that stuff didn't really get a chance to heal. So she's a super high risk pregnancy. This scene is kind of boring. They have the party for Manhattan. Justine's scowl face mama and her old granny show up, but Granny said some real stuff to her. They have the party for the baby. Justine goes upstairs and talks with her mom. Her mom is rude and unsupportive as usual. She's irritated by Justine's decisions. But Justine also says that her mom has never really been supportive of her. And yeah, and her granny just tells her, you know, shoot, at least you're not in the hospital, you know, on bed rest for months out of your pregnancy, and just trying to look at the brighter side of things. But that's really all that happened in this scene. It was kind of boring. Okay, so the next scene is Brittany and Key-Rock. They are in their apartment. I don't know if y'all have been watching, but a few episodes ago, they got a travel pass to... Well, Key-Rock's already approved, I think. His probation or parole is already approved for him to go to Texas, but Brittany's is not. So she's just there on a travel pass, but he's gonna stay there and work, and she's setting up the apartment. But she does not want to get no job, y'all. She is trying to live the lifestyle of the rich and famous without the riches. But she set this apartment up real cute. I'm finna show y'all some pictures of how she did what needed to be done. Brittany might need to go into interior design or something, but it seems like she just doesn't want to do any type of work. Key-Rock says that every job she gets, she quits. But that's neither here nor there. So on this scene, they're really just in the kitchen. Brittany's got to go home tomorrow, so she's on FaceTime with her best friend. And Key-Rock doesn't really care for her best friend. He feels like she can be a bad influence sometimes, and like all they do is party and stuff like that. And she's already on the phone like, yeah, I'm finna have her outside, you finna lose your girl, and da 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 da. And then they're talking about these trackers that they both have to have on their phones, that Brittany and Key-Rock both have to have on their phones, so you can see if they're speeding, their location, all types of extra stuff. Like, it's beyond just sharing locations. And I guess it comes out later in the scene that Key-Rock had cheated on her before while they were still locked up. So yeah, that's really all that happened in this scene. She's going back to Texas, and he is staying... No, she's going back to wherever they from, and he's staying down here in Texas so that he can work. Oh, the next scene is Rob and Teenie. They not really... It's kind of a short scene. She pulls up in the garage. She's mad that his mama was there. He's like, it's my mama, and I feel him, it's his house. Like, he's paying all the bills in there. She just got a job. So, and he was doing that from the pen.
A good man, Savannah. A good man. He's just in a bad situation right now, and he's trying to get out of it.
So she's just like, you know, we gotta have boundaries. Your mama was throwing a temper tantrum downstairs, which she was. Rob's mom is gone at this point. And then he's like, you know, well, I want to have a relationship with my mom. And she's like, I feel that. I want you to have a relationship with your mom, but we got to make sure that it's not going to be an altercation. And so then it cuts to her confessional, and the producers are asking her, do you feel like you put your hands on his mom first? And she's like, that's not something I would even do. That's not even in my character. Next question. Teenie is like never the problem, it seems like. And she's like calmly dramatic. I don't like people like that. Like when she was driving home on her lunch break, she was like, I just need to get home and make sure that my kids are safe and that my house is still intact. Girl, you watching it on the camera. All she did was slam her fist on the table. Like, your kids are fine. So we go to Kim and Joey next. She did the DNA test with her. She opened the results with her cousin on the last episode, but we didn't see what it was. So she opens it. Joey is not the father.
You are not.
Which is good for her, because he's currently in like a rehab halfway house, and her baby daddy, her ex-husband, well, soon to be ex-husband, because she hadn't even filed her divorce paperwork yet, was paying child support. So if it came out that Joey was the dad, she was gonna have to give him that child support money back. And so she calls Joey to tell him, and Joey's just like, what is it? Yes or no? Is it my baby or not? Like, he seems totally unfazed by it. I think Joey has checked out. Scenes back to Rob and Teeny. She's still just basically saying, like, we need boundaries with your mom. Once you and your mom can, have a good, stable relationship, then we can work on reintroducing me back into the relationship. But then she goes on to say, like, if her and Rob were to get pregnant, she doesn't plan on inviting his mom to the baby shower, asking her to babysit. So it sounds like you're gonna have a baby with this man and then purposely isolate him from the grandma. I don't know. I just want everybody to stop being so quick to copy and paste their genetics and maybe just work on this a little bit. You know what I mean? Work on this and then procreate more children. But who am I?
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
So anyway, that's basically that scene. Rob takes the fall for it because he seems like a really good guy. Like, happy wife, happy life. He even said, I apologize for inviting my mom to my house. That sounds weird, but he apologizes. He gives her a kiss, walks her back to the car, and that's it. I feel like this is the season finale because, everybody's saying, like, how they feel and showing pictures like once their final scene plays for the episode. But yeah, that was Rob and Tiny. I really like Rob. Tiny's cool, but I just feel like Tiny, whatever her name is, I feel like she doesn't take accountability and she's kind of spoiled little. We're back to Bianca and Daniel, and Bianca's smile is quickly turned upside down when Daniel tells her this is not an engagement ring, this is a promise ring. He don't get down on one knee, he pull it out his back pocket. The ring ain't even in a box, y'all. So she's like, what? She's kind of just looking at him like, this nigga just really give me a fucking promise ring after everything I done. And
you like it? You like it?
The fuck is this with your broke ass?
And Bianca really equates, like, she's one of those people that I feel like goes tit for tat. So she's done all these things for Daniel, and she just wants him to follow through on his proposal and propose to her in the free world. And so she's like, a promise ring. And then he's like, yeah, I promise to be the man you need to be, and I promise to work on myself so that we can have our future together. And he is like, give me your right hand. And she's like, my right hand. And he's like, yeah, you got to save the left hand for the real ring. And so she is visibly displeased, but you can tell she's trying to like hold it in or whatever. Side note, can Bianca, can her homegirls get her on a better shampoo regimen? What is going on with your hair, babes? Like, why is it so greasy? Why is the back never fully flat? So anyway, let me get back on topic. So she's visibly displeased by this promise ring, and she's in the confession showing like it doesn't even fit on her ring finger, it fits on her middle finger, and she's like, which is actually kind of fitting. And so it goes to her and Daniel, and she's like, okay, I guess like you're promising to engage to me within the next 6 months. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I promise to work on myself so I can be a man that's even ready to get married. And Bianca is just over it. She's pissed. She's like, okay, whatever, like I want to leave now. And then Daniel says in his confessions that Bianca doesn't love herself. He was like, I'm dealing with someone that doesn't know what love is, doesn't love their self. And he was like, but I didn't love myself when I was her age. And he was like, she doesn't believe me when I tell her that I love her, but, I believe in her and da 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 da. And then she goes to her confession scene and she's like, I guess all I can do now is just wasting her youthful years, like she said. And she was like, I mean, what am I gonna do in the relationship? Yeah, duh. But she's like, no. She's like, what am I gonna do, just break up with him? No. So I guess I just wait. When you love somebody, you stick anything out. And that's when I thought maybe she don't love herself, because if you loved yourself enough, you wouldn't stick anything out. You would leave as soon as it started costing you your peace and your happiness.
Run, bitch! Run!
But what, I'm over here with no man, so don't take my advice, y'all. If she got her a man, I guess. But anyway, now we're back to Brittany and Key Rock, and Brittany is packing up her stuff. It's the day that she leaves, and Kirok's mom and her boyfriend come over. And so they all sit down in the living room, and Kirok's mom is like, well, you know, if your travel pass, if your probation doesn't eventually get approved to move here, then we'll just all move back. And Kirok stopped that real fast, like, no, I just got out of prison. I put a lot of money into this apartment. I got a job here. I don't have no credit. I'm not finna backtrack. I done spent a lot of money to come down here, and I feel him on that. Like, the only reason Brittany can't move is because she has $10,000 worth of restitution to pay. Brittany could have been working and paid off that restitution, but instead she's just living off of Kirok, and oh, I have to take care of you and cook and clean for you. Like, Brittany, you need to go your ass somewhere and clock in, do some nails, do something, because that's the only thing holding you back. And Kirok is keeping both of y'all afloat, and it seems like they're living pretty nicely. So he doesn't have an extra $10,000 to give her to pay for her restitution. So Kirok and the mama's boyfriend, they go outside to chop it up, and Brittany's inside telling Kirok's mom, like, you know, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna babysit, I'm gonna do nails. Like, now that she knows that he's not trying to just up and move back, she's like, I gotta figure it out. But then she still is like, of course, it's just leave me, da-da-da-da. But it's like, girl, go to work and pay your restitution. You could have been paid it by, you know, like, I've sacrificed a lot for her, because the mama's boyfriend is like, you know, you got to make sacrifices. Love is about sacrifice. And he's like, I feel like I've made a lot of sacrifices. He's paying for everything. They could have been in Texas, but her and these court fees, so they were staying at some lady's house for months. Kirok was paying the bills, paying Brittany's court fees and stuff like that. So he's like, I'm not backtracking, and like, I finally have some stuff in my name. I'm not just gonna give it all up because she didn't want to go to work and pay her court fees. The scene ends, and they're in the car on their way to drop Brittany off at the airport, and she's like, I just can't wait to be off probation. And Kirok kind of just rolls his eyes, because it was like, girl, if that was the fact, you would have been working 2 or 3 jobs. You would have been off probation if you were helping. But I really think Brittany needs to start pulling her weight, or Kirok is either 1, going to start to resent her, or 2, just fade to black. It's easy to do when he's in Texas and she's in wherever it is, Virginia or something like that. So last scene of the show is Justine and Michael. They have the baby. He's a beautiful baby boy. He's like 6 pounds, no complications. Justine didn't hemorrhage, no extra bleeding or anything like that. They named the baby Million Banks. They so ghetto.
Oh, the ghetto.
But anyway, I guess his stage name is Montana Mills, and one of his sons already has his name Michael, so they took the Mills from that and Million Banks. But yeah, that was the episode pretty much, guys. I hope you guys liked it. Please give the video a thumbs up if you're still here. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought. Tell me what other shows you want to watch.